So, hi Vanessa, thank you for joining me today.
Hi Emma.
You alright?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Apart from being stuck inside, but there we go.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, so we're just going to have a chat today about what Community Mind Matters is and,
hmm
you know, ultimately how people can access it and what they can get from it, because it's a really important thing that you're doing. So it'd be great to get all of that information from you and share that with the community Facebook page that
Yeah.
set up, and really sort of get the word out there that we're here doing this, isn't it? So great. Let's get started. What is Community Mind Matters then, Vanessa?
Oh, Community Mind Matters is something I'm very proud of. It's a journey, my personal journey,
Yeah.
through going through the hospital system, having that, nowhere to go, nowhere to access things, especially when you've been discharged. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And for me, when I set this up, there was nothing like this in the area. There was nothing for people to sort of like go and speak to somebody about something. And plus, we're not clinical. Community mind matters isn't clinical. It's come from experience. It's come from us suffering every day with your mental health. And I think that's why Community Mind Matters was set up with the help of Jack McLean. If I can tell the story, I'd been discharged from the hospital and I was still not completely well. And I just thought, I can't sit in my house anymore. I'd been 2 years sat at home.
And this is something that you notice a lot. People are discharged and said, right, now you need to get on in your
Yeah,
world.
yeah,
Naturally, they need that little extra support.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I did have some support coming, but it was 3 months away.
Right.
But it doesn't help you straight away. So things do get in place, but it takes time to set up.
Yeah.
Where Community Mind Matters is instant. Somebody wants to speak to me, they can speak to me. Yeah. Where there wasn't that service there for me then. It was like, oh, I've got to worry. Who do I speak to today? I can't speak to the hospital. There's nobody else for me to speak to. So you're sort of like stuck. Where Community Mind Matters, we're the people that you can speak to. Then I can refer somebody on to the hospital or, speak on their behalf. So it's very much, people want help today.
Yeah.
It's,
that little stopgap.
Yeah, definitely. And for me.
And that's where you were.
Oh, definitely.
How many years ago was that?
nearly 6 years, probably about 6 years ago.
Yeah. And what happened there then?
Jack knocked on the door and I was just about to do some volunteering down at Pennygate Foundation. I still wasn't ready to be around lots of people, but I thought, well, I could do some cleaning for them, something so I was interacting with people, because I shut myself away from 2 years, had no friends, very, very, I was starting a new journey in my life of, so I thought to myself, do a bit of volunteering. But as I went to the door, Jack was pushing leaflets through the door. I love this story.
Who is Jack? Tell us who Jack is.
Jack is a counsellor. He's a district counsellor, and he helped me form Community Mind Matters. Okay. So he wasn't elected in then, so it was very much, he was new to everything himself. Yeah. So he knocked on the door. I was so busy because I needed to rush out and do this volunteering. So I didn't really have a lot of time, but I just brought up the mental health and what I'd been through and blah, blah. And then Jack turned around and said, well, I would like to talk about this further. Can I write you a letter? So I thought, yeah, you can write me a letter. So we wrote a letter. And this happened for sort of like 2 or 3 months. Then we had a couple of meetings, but I still wasn't ready to go out in the community because of my post-traumatic stress disorder. I was still very, very early stages of learning about how to deal with everything. So the meetings were in my house. And then a few months later, with another few counsellors, Jack invited me to the council offices and said, we're going to talk about this fully. I think we've got something here. That's the day we set Community Mind Matters up. And it's the day that, you know, things changed for me. I had, you know, with mental health, I think you have to have a purpose. Yeah. And with me, I had that fight back. Wow. Something I could, you know, I could help people from my experiences. And, you know, for me, that's all I've ever wanted to do, is help people get through it, because you can.
Yeah. Wow. So you went from having post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah. And struggling and being admitted in hospital to coming out and going, right, I need to change this. I need
yep.
this. I want to move on. What do you think gave you that fight to do that?
I think because I know what I'm talking about with mental health. I know what I'm talking about because I'm going through it. I live with my condition every single day. Most people that know me, you know how I've struggled, and they know how hard it's been for me. Yeah. But if I was to meet other people, oh, she's confident and everything. Yes, I am confident, but I've had to rebuild myself, because when you have a mental health condition, it doesn't stop you doing anything. It just means you have to go around it a different way. You have to find a different way. And I found my different way through helping other people with mental health issues. It helps me. Wow. It's such a rewarding job to know that person has had that help. Yeah. You know, to go, right, you know, you really helped that telephone call. People think they don't do anything, but you do. The power of just listening is amazing.
Wow. And so you set this up with Jack.
Yeah.
So what, on a day-to-day, what can we expect from Community Mind Matters? How does it work?
Right, how it works is I get referrals in from wherever they come in from. They might come in from the hospital, they might come in with the community police. I work quite closely with them, so they will send me people. It will be, you know, can be referral from anywhere, friends, family, you know, other people sort of like, oh, you know, it could even be the newspaper. So, but what I do is I check on people on a daily basis if somebody needs support. Of course, at the moment we can't do this, but I usually have about 4 groups a week, so people can come. They're very small groups. I deal with very, very small groups of people. So probably the biggest group I have is 8 people. Yeah. Very small. Everybody has to have sort of like a couple of one-to-ones with me to see if they're right. Not because I don't want them in the group, but the way I work is very much for a small group of people that a lot of these people are quite vulnerable. They need to trust everybody in the room. So it's a very, very sort of like, you know, but if they're not ready for my group, I will still support them one-to-one. Okay. Yeah. So it's very, you know, and gradually they'll get into the groups, and, you know, but I have lots of people that have never hit my groups, but I just do one-to-ones with. And I've had, you know, sort of like clients for 2 or 3 years like that, and it's fine.
And I guess with people who are suffering from anxiety or social anxiety, yeah, being in a group isn't really right for them.
Precisely, yeah. It's very, very overwhelming. You know, I've had lots of people come, you know, they come to the room and that's probably took all their strength to go. Mm-hmm. You open the door, there's people sat there. You see, and with my group and my group members, they're so lovely. They don't ask questions. They just accept that person's in the room and they make them feel welcome. And that's what it's about. It's about people making feel comfortable. Because I went to some support groups when I was sort of like going through my journey. And to be honest with you, the way, and you know, it's every support group is different. The way it ran for me, I didn't like it. I sat there feeling people were asking me lots and lots of things I didn't want to talk about. No. So through having that experience, I know not what to do for other people, and I won't have people asking questions. I think it's down to that individual if they want to tell people how they feel, because I know from my own experience, sometimes you open up and then you go home and go, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh my goodness, what do they think of me? And that is part of people's mental health as well. Yeah. We overthink. Yeah. We get upset about things like that. So I'm very aware of how people feel.
Yeah. So you've actually created a really, really, really solid support bubble. Mm-hmm. For people who want that. And sometimes, like you said, it's not that they want to talk about it, they just want to feel accepted and have a purpose.
Totally.
Wow, that's amazing. And what sort of people do you find come to Community Mind Matters?
All sorts of people. I mean, some people, I only speak to them once, you know, and that's all they need. This is what I do with Community Mind. For me, it's about giving that person that time there and then. Mental health I think there shouldn't be a waiting list, but there is. You know, people sometimes need to just talk about something and get it off their chest. It's just get it out of their head, speak it through with somebody. And there isn't really a service like that. It's all, you know, they'll go to the doctors, I've got something worrying me, and then it could be resolved quite quickly just through a chat. It has happened. I've had experience of that where people have come in, had a chat and gone, I know what to do now. And they don't bother the system. They go and create it all by themselves. And it is about that. You know, people sometimes don't know what to do.
And it's like you said, sometimes when we have mental health issues, it's about doing something just a little bit more differently, a little bit more creatively. And just talking that through with somebody, come up with that sort of like, maybe I need to do this, and that might not always be the answer, but it might lead onto something else.
Oh, definitely.
And so you get sort of people old, young, you know,
all age groups. We don't deal with anybody under the age of 18,
right?
You know, so it's 18 plus. Yeah, but any age group. I don't think, you know, and it is, you know, I wouldn't say there's an average age group. It's a mixture. It's a mixture of people. And I've met some really lovely people, you know, and I've helped them get the help they need.
Yeah. And
you know,
and what is it about what is it about Community Mind Matters that you're most proud of at the moment?
Oh, everything. I could cry now. Everything, absolutely everything. I think just to know, the thing I'm most proud of is I know I can help people. And I just think back to when I was in that dark place. And it can be really, really scary when you're in that dark place and you can't see that light and you think to yourself, it's never going to get any better. It's always going to be like this for me, but that's not true. It will always get better. Yeah. It will, you know, it takes time, and everybody's recovery is different. Mine did take a long time, but I had a lot to deal with. I had to get well, and I am well, and I still have the condition, but I manage, and I manage it well. For most people, they wouldn't even know about my condition because I've learned, I've researched, I know when I'm having that wobble. I know how to be kind to myself. I've got a toolbox now. You know, I've got a little box to go into, oh, right, I need that tool today and I need to rest. I need to do this. I need to do that. It's about getting to know you as a person. I know who I am. I don't, you know, in a sense, my mental health breakdown has made me appreciate a lot of things. And I think I wouldn't say it made me a better person because I was always that person, but it's made me learn about me a bit more. I'm in tune with who I am, where before I'd be like pleasing everybody and I didn't have boundaries. And, now life is so much different. You know, I know when I think, I'm not doing that. I've got my feeling about that. It's not happening. You know, it's about knowing inside.
Yeah. So you've lived through a mental health condition and you manage it now.
Yeah.
And you're using that as your purpose going forward, which is amazing. And so you've got lots of your own tools to help yourself. Mm-hmm. You've got many tools to help others as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so in your groups, what sort of things do you do? Do you sit in chat?
Well, they come in. I mean, usually it'd be an Ascafé, of course, but with everything. So they'd come in.
You're mainly based around Ascafé, aren't you?
I have 2 groups at Ascafé, yes. So mainly there at the moment. I do have one down at Pinchbeck in the church, the Baptist Church on Knight Street. So we've got those 3 groups. So people come in, there's always tea and coffee and there's always cake, of course. And
homemade by you most of the time.
Oh, of course, you know, they've got to have homemade cake. But what usually happens is they'll come in, and Ascafé is so welcoming. We've been there 4 years and it's always been a place where my guys feel safe, they can go in. So we'll go in and they'll come into the room. have their tea, have their coffee, whatever, and their cake. And then I ask how everybody is. And it's not like we sit around in a circle or anything like that. Then they have arts and crafts to do. Somebody might be doing some colouring, something. And it's just really just a place for them to be themselves. Yeah. They come in and they're just themselves. They're not asking any questions. Like only, how are you? If somebody wants a private chat, then we leave the room. Yeah. We do not discuss anything in the room that they wouldn't want other people to hear. You know, we all have meltdowns, we all have bad days. And if they're having a bad day, I mean, of course, I've got the beautiful gardens. I'll take them for a nice walk in the gardens and we'll, you know, or they'll book an appointment to have a one-to-one a bit later. But my main thing about my groups is I uplift people. They're positive groups. They're positive groups. We uplift. You know, we make them smile. I mean, most people that come to my group, you should go out laughing. And that's what the purpose is. With mental health, you've got so much sometimes in your head that's doom and gloom that we just need a break from that from a couple of hours and just make it happy. So I do that, you know, and it's nice. It's nice for them.
So your sort of your goal at the end of your group is for everybody to leave smiling and happy.
Oh, definitely.
Uplifted.
Yeah, I haven't done my job if they don't smile.
Cake and tea. How?
Oh yeah.
So how many people do you think you've helped? What is it? Is it 6 years? Did you say?
Yeah. Oh, I've helped a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people over these. Yeah, a lot of people. And I mean, it's nice because some of the people that I have helped, if they're having a bit of a wobble, they come back. Yeah. I'll get a little message, Vanessa, can I speak to you? Yeah. And then I don't hear from them again for 6 months. But this is what Community Mind Matters is free to do. You know, there isn't a waiting list for this. And there might be a few days waiting. And I will get back to you as soon as I can. You know, and that's what it is. It's instant as it can be. Yeah. You know, and like if I can't handle it, then it's signposted to somebody that can, you know, or I'll phone the doctors. I mean, I've had many cases where people have come to me and gone, Vanessa, I really am gonna, you know, I'm really feeling quite, and I phoned the doctors on their behalf and got them in to see the doctor. I phoned the hospital on people's behalves. Because these people haven't got that strength to do that. Sometimes they haven't, and the words don't come out right. I know I was that person where I couldn't speak. Yeah. I had to have that support for somebody to speak for me. And it just take that weight off somebody's shoulders just for a few minutes, like, oh, I can just, she gets me, she knows what I'm talking about. And that's what people need to hear.
Wow. It sounds like an amazing community thing. And, you know, if anybody needed any help, Vanessa, what would they need to do? What would they need to do in the first instance? Where would they go? How would they contact you?
Well, we have a Facebook page, but it's a private group. So send us a request and we will then add you to the group. And we have a landline number as well that's on the page. So the landline number's there for anybody, you know, to call. They can leave a recorded message if they don't want to speak to me directly, and then I'll get back to them, you know. And
is it always you who they speak to?
Yes. Yeah. Initially, everything goes through me first. Yeah.
And that's all private and confidential.
All private and confidential, definitely. It's all, and then, you know, and then after that, depending what help they need, because some people don't come for help from me directly. They need help, or, you know, through the hospital. So I'll phone the doctors on their behalf, and then that's them on their way. Yeah. So because I'm not a counsellor, you know, so I couldn't help them that way, but I am I can talk things through with them and pass them on. And sometimes people just need that. So this is what it's there. But we're more for people that have finished hospital stuff. You know, when they finished hospital, they're well, just to keep in check with their mental health, then they can speak to me, things like that. Because sometimes people don't know what to do with their life after they've come out. I didn't, but then I found what I needed to do by helping other people. So it's finding your way. After you've been through mental health breakdown, I think, you do think, oh, what shall I do now? And a lot of people don't know what to do.
It's having that purpose, like that, isn't it? Everybody needs that purpose. It's a human given to have a purpose.
Yeah, definitely.
Something to drive them to get up in the morning, or whether that's a dog or, you know, a job or children, or it could be
Yeah,
different
definitely anything. You know, mine was helping other people.
Yeah.
I spent a couple of years researching my condition, and I thought, well, you know, if I do this and do that, because for a lot of years I avoided stuff because I just didn't want to, but now I don't avoid it. You know, I'm not saying there's still a few things that I need to face. I think we all, but that's just being a human being. You know, there's certain things, but you know, it doesn't give me sleepless nights now.
No. And
where
it's
before,
a journey, isn't it? It's like,
yeah,
you
of course
said,
it is.
finding yourself, what suits you, what you can use in your toolbox.
Yeah.
And could you give us just a couple of examples of what you've got in your toolbox that you use?
In my toolbox, I know when I need to take that rest.
Yeah.
So I know now, I know when to set boundaries, you know, things like that. All the important things. This is what I teach other people. It's about setting those healthy boundaries for ourselves. I think when you've been through, I mean, I won't go into what I've been through, but I've been through some traumas. I didn't set boundaries in those relationships, so very much. And, you know, if I do get another woman that's been through something similar than I've been through, I know exactly how to help her. So I go into my toolbox and give her one of my tools and say, look, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do to move forward. You know, and it's about taking control. Without being, you know, unforgiveness. I mean, even though I've been through a lot of stuff, I've forgiven, so I can move forward with my life. So it's finding those little things that you can go to when you're really struggling and going, right, I need to do this today. You know, I need to, you know, take that minute to meditate. I mean, the power of meditation. People, oh my goodness, what you do is amazing. You know, I always feel good when I have one of your sessions. But it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But for me, it's a tool that I've used, you know, that's helped me through my recovery. Yeah. And it's a tool that I use quite very regular.
And it's everybody's toolbox is going to be different, isn't it?
Of course. You know, I love music, I love walking. So I've got all these different things that I love, and I love a challenge, you know, and I like to push myself because I think it's healthy sometimes for us to push ourselves, you know, a healthy little challenge, a little goal. Yeah. You know, I think setting those little goals, sometimes you think, oh, I can't do that. But you can. It's just setting it and just slowly. It's having belief in yourself, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, that's self-belief. And I guess that you build those sort of foundations for self-belief in your groups.
Yes, definitely. Oh, definitely. I've had some amazing people that have come to me, and then a year later I look at them and I could sit there and I inside I'm feeling so warm because I know what they were like a year ago, and it's so warming to see how much they've grown and how much that they've changed. Yeah. They don't always see it though. You know, I have to remind them. I go, and they'll go, really? Yeah, you're right. I couldn't do that a year ago. And then they look and then they see that how far they've come. Yeah. And it's such a pleasure to see these people grow. I get so, oh, it's just lovely.
That warm fuzzy feeling.
Oh yeah. You can't, you know what you can't buy that. You know, it needs to be bottled up and sold, I think, somewhere. Perhaps I should start doing it.
Yeah, well, it's a business venture for us.
Yeah, let's just do it. Because it is the power of that is amazing to see somebody grow and just see, you know, and I've had some sadness along the way with certain things, but
yeah. Is that what keeps you going then? That, you know, that warm fuzzy feeling inside?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a total tonic. It's just knowing after I've come off the phone to somebody, I can have somebody crying at the beginning of that phone call, but you can guarantee by the time they finish, they're laughing. Yeah. You know, and you can make that person feel it's not that bad. You can put things in place. It's putting a little plan in place. It's just putting that little, you know, perhaps if I try this, and it's about holding their hand for a little while. You know, with me, this is a very personal journey. So my community matters is very personal to the way I work. I work completely differently. I will hold that hand as long as it's needed. But sometimes those people don't need that. They've had those phone calls and then they're like, I'm okay now. You give them the strength. You give them the strength to move forward a little bit.
Yeah. Wow. And Community Mind Matters is absolutely free, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No financial cost to.
No, none at all.
So,
you know, we have a few donations, but I mean, it's, you know, very personal. But
yeah. So what do you do in terms of fundraising then? How do you keep Community Mind Matters going? What happens?
I'm very, very lucky that the people that support me give me their stuff, you know, freely, and I think that's for me, that brings me more warmth, because I am for community, I am for the people, and I think when you have all these buildings that are empties and things like that, I'm thinking that could go to good use. Let's just stick to a community, and you know, it's we can all give a little something. We can. I give a lot of my time, you know, and it's not about, you know, to me, it's never been about money. No. It's been about helping people. Yeah. You know, it's about helping those people in need. And, you know, so I'm very, very lucky that I have a lot of support through the people that support me, through giving me free access to rooms, and brilliant. And it's just amazing. I love those people for what they've done for me. They've supported me, and it makes me feel even more humble.
Yeah. And when you're in sort of normal, non-pandemic times, you do sort of mental health days and.
Yeah. Well, today's time to talk. You know, it's time to, you know, and usually I would do an event today. You know, usually there would be an event at Askby. I'd put on tea and cake downstairs in the room and everything. Done it for many years, and people come in. It could be anybody from the. I've had people just come on that day and have never come before, and they've seen something online. They've seen it. They've come in. They've had a cup of tea. People walking through the museum have gone, oh, and I've got, come and sit down, a cup of tea. And you know what? It's so strange, because as soon as people start talking, there's always somebody in the family that's suffering.
Yeah.
There's always somebody that's suffering. It might be a cousin or an auntie. It might be, you know, and you know what? Sometimes what I find, they open up and then afterwards they go, thank you. I know what to do now. It's about just giving people a bit of information, just giving those people that time to go, I just need a bit of help. And then they go off and they do their own investigation. That's my part done.
What's the future for Community Mind Matters?
There's a few more projects on the way that I can't go into at the moment. It's very, very small. You know, the COVID is keeping us, holding us back a little bit. But there will be a lot more in the community for us to do. A lot more opportunities for volunteers to come on and help as well. And that would be nice, because I think when somebody's been through their mental health, sometimes they want to give something back. They want to go and volunteer somewhere, and, you know, and that's lovely if they can. You know, it gives them a purpose as well, a bit like it did me. You know, and I just want to help people. I think that's all I want Community Mind Matters to be known for, really. It's just helping people. Yeah. When they're having a bad day, they go, pick up the phone us.
Brilliant. And like you said, you can be found on Facebook, and the landline number, as you said, is on Facebook.
Yeah, it's on the page and everything.
And also you have a bench in Askby as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So tell us more about the bench.
Oh, so proud of my bench. I mean, it's just lovely, and it's nice that my committee members are on board with it as well. It's just lovely, and I've got a few more volunteers as well. So the bench is it's instant on a Monday, so it's from 12 until 2. So people, if they're having, you know, they want to talk about something, it doesn't have to be the person that's suffering. It can be a family member worried about somebody that could sit on the bench and go, right, I need to talk about this. But who do I go and say? You know, so they can come and sit on the bench. and I say it's from 12 till 2 every Monday, and they just sit there, and then I come along, or one of my volunteers will come along, and we all sit there, you know, and they'll sit there and talk to them. At the moment with the COVID thing, it is still running, but we're not sitting. I'm still in the gardens, I'm walking around.
Okay, yeah.
So somebody could still sit there, and I could still offer them support, but it would be done over the telephone. It's sort of like we'd do it that way. I mean, on the bench as well, there is some helplines, there's Samaritans, and there is a text service called Shout that people can do as well. Our number isn't on there at the moment, but we will be doing that in the future. We'll get another sign with our number. But we have got posters up in Ascafie, in all the boards, with our number on it as well.
So that's in Ascafie Gardens, and the
yes,
bench is right next to the pond, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So it's a lovely spot. It really is a nice spot. You know, it's very calm, very, very calm. And we have a little robin that comes and sits there and talks to us, and the ducks.
Yeah, the ducks.
And when I have done the bench, and I've had a few people sit on there, they have said the calming of water has actually made them feel better. And I think because it's outside as well, and it's not in an office, it's free, it's in nature. I love nature, and I think a lot of people, we forget that nature is so good for us. Getting out for that walk every day just clears that mind. It's so relaxing, and I think having that bench.
There's so many scientific studies to show that
definitely,
being outside in nature is so good for our mental health, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
But people, and I think this lockdown has taught a lot of people that, because there is a lot of people walking and running and doing all sorts now. And I think it's a must. It's a must. You must get out for a walk every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Just get outside. It's
get those endorphins rolling.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, we're going to have another bench somewhere else in the town later on in the year. So we have had another bench donated in, so in another spot. So that's something else to look forward to. So and I think it's instant, isn't it? Somebody sat on the bench. But what I've got out of that bench as well, I've had so many feedback that people have used that bench to sit there.
Well, you're not there.
Well, I'm not there. A lot of my clients, whenever they go into Ascafie, they always sit on that bench.
Wow.
So it gives people a lot of comfort, I think, because it's from where it's placed as well. I think it's lovely, and I think a lot of people have got comfort out of that, and we've had some really good feedback about it, how it's gave people comfort, and that makes me feel good that people have got comfort out of that. Just, it's when I came up with the idea, I hadn't long lost a dear friend, and we didn't know what to call it, and we were going to call it after him at one point, but we didn't. But I know that they would have loved that bench, and I think everything that I do is personal to what my experience is, and I feel, and I think I react on what other people are feeling because I've been through it.
Yeah.
They relate to it straight away. You sort of like sit down, I can say, I know what you're feeling. They'll go, I don't always tell them what's gone on with me, but I'll tell them I've been through something similar, because I think sometimes that's their story. They need to tell it.
Yes.
But I think knowing the comfort that you've been through it as well gives somebody that hope that they're not on their own. Because a lot of people with mental health, we feel we're on our own. We feel nobody understands us. It's a very lonely place for people.
But we know that there is help out there.
Oh, definitely.
And it's amazing, like you've just described.
Yeah, I am proud of it. I joked with my son when we put the sign up, because he put the sign up for me. He's 17, and when I had my breakdown, he was very, very young, so he's about 10, 11, and no charge to see what I went through. And he won an award. He came second place as Young Carer of the Year. So proud of him, because without him, I wouldn't have got through. He was my purpose. My children were my purpose of getting through it, but I wasn't neglecting him. I neglected myself.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to communicate with the world. But I'm so proud of him because it's not affected him. We as a family understand mental health because we've learned it all together. We understand and we respect each other's feelings. And with him, I sort of like put it out. And he's 17, trying to get a conversation out of him. And I went, I thought, I'm going to try this one. I wonder if he's going to say anything. I went, are you proud of your mum? And he stood back and he went, yeah, I am. And I went, oh my God, because he doesn't say much, but it was just so nice because he's been on this journey with me in a sense.
Yeah.
There must have been times when we always forget about children, don't we? How hard it must have been for him.
Children are really resilient, Vanessa.
But yeah.
Because your son's amazing, isn't he?
But he's proved it to me. He's proved how well he's done. And I think that for me, that's all it's about. It's about getting through it and learning by it. And for me to go through what I've been through, yes, it wasn't very nice, but I've learned so much, and now I can give it back. I can give it back to people.
So we can use our experiences to be better people, can't we?
Oh yeah, it's about giving, isn't it? It's about giving. It's giving people that bit of, oh, they've done that, so we can try that. It's about, and then the thing is, if we all did that, what a wonderful world it'd be. It would just be an amazing world, wouldn't it? It's because I've been let's say 2 different people, but my life before my breakdown was very hectic.
Yeah.
Very, very hectic.
And we can
to what it is now.
We always pinpoint certain times in our life, can't we, where we've had a trip, but actually it's made us even better.
Oh, I people may think, oh, she's crazy for thinking this, but I am grateful for my breakdown. In a sense, I am, because I wouldn't be sat here doing this, and I love what I do, and I am so more in control of me now, where before I was not in control of anything. It was just hectic life and stress, and there is no stress now because I don't allow that stress in. I'm like, right, you're not getting in. I talk to it and say, go away. It's like my toolbox again. It's I've got those tools to go, I'm calm.
Yeah, flip those negatives around and turn them into something.
Oh, that negative never gets in. And it is, if people can learn to do this, it's an amazing thing, because I always turn my negative into a positive. I look at things so much differently now.
That's really, really obvious from this conversation, where you went from being, absolutely down there in your darkest place to here now talking to me about how many people you help and the community that you've set up. Not all on your own, but
no, definitely not.
Quite obvious.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for talking to us. I hope that we're hoping to put this onto the Community Mind Matters page, so everybody can see it and learn about what Community Mind Matters actually is and how it can help them or their loved ones. So thank you, Vanessa. You're absolutely like the mental health fairy.
That's brilliant. I've never thought of it like that.
So I think Jack and I obviously are a bit in awe of you. So you're doing what you do, and I think a lot of people would want to say that.
Oh, thank you. Right. Thank you so much.
And we'd like to do this again, wouldn't we? And
definitely.
Mental health issues, etc., so people can learn a bit more.
Oh, definitely. I think between us, I think I think I have some more plans. I've got probably some guest speakers coming in eventually and things like that. I think, this is the way I would like it to go, because I think, it's going to help so many more people. Yeah. It really is going to help. So thank you, Emma. Okay. And I felt really calm.
Well done. All right, so we'll say bye now, and see you next time.
Bye.